Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to give ground rules like always. There's just a few things I can't talk about, not many anymore. It's kind of out in the open. The first thing I'd like to do is acknowledge all the people standing behind me, and there's twice as many as that involved, are responsible for us coming to the conclusion we came to today. There was a tremendous amount of absolutely miraculous evidence collection, crime scene investigation, all the basics that lead us to where we're at. And I'll go ahead and start. Today, charges were presented on a person who is accused of committing 7 sexual assaults in Tulsa beginning June 5th of this year. The person charged is Desmond, D-E-S-M-O-N-D, L. Campbell, C-A-M-P-B-E-L-L. He's an African-American male, light-skinned, 30 years of age. He has prior convictions in Oklahoma City for attempted robbery, attempted kidnapping and robbery with a dangerous weapon. He was released from prison on April 21st of this year. As in all cases of serious crime, any possible evidence is examined in the Tulsa Police Lab and then is often forwarded to OSBI for additional examination. As a result of these examinations, Desmond Campbell was identified as a possible suspect. Campbell has no arrest record in Tulsa, but a Google search by one of our investigators found that he was involved in a serious one-car collision on I-44 at Sheridan last Sunday morning. The vehicle Campbell was driving struck a light pole at a considerable speed. As a result, Campbell was transported to a local hospital where he still remains in critical condition and is unresponsive. The accident occurred at 5:45 hours a.m. Sunday morning, 10 minutes after a sexual assault was reported at 1200 South 75th East Avenue at 5:35. The investigation is continuing aggressively. However, the task force will be disbanded and officers will return to their original assignments. I can't say enough about the dedication exhibited by the members of the task force, sex crimes detectives, crime scene detectives, lab personnel, the U.S. Marshals Service, and the OSBI. This became a 24-hour operation very early on to identify the suspect, and they have worked tirelessly to do so. I have to thank the Tulsa Fire Department for volunteering to cruise through neighborhoods to help allay citizens' fears. And I would also be remiss if I didn't thank the citizens of Tulsa and the media. In a time where we needed tips and leads badly, Tulsans responded magnificently and came to our assistance through both just straight calls to detectives and through the ease of making those kind of tips through our Crime Stoppers program and the Crime Prevention Network. I'll say I'm truly proud to call Tulsa my home, and I hope all of you have a safe and enjoyable 4th of July weekend. I'll take any questions. And let's let the mayor speak first, and then we'll take questions afterwards if you like.
Well, Chief, thank you very much. Not to repeat your words, but I also wish to thank the Tulsa Police Department for once again showing us that this behind the scenes, the grunt work that is so necessary to both solve crimes, but as well to arrest the suspected criminals. That once again, we in the Tulsa Police Department showed our true mettle, the true capability we have, not just to solve a crime, but to provide the information that gives the police officers the ability and the desire to go out and get the bad guys. That's what they came up with. We also need to thank the Citizens Crime Commission and the entirety of our Tulsa community for immediately turning in a series of tips, one after another. I remember very well that we had a neighborhood meeting at the Presbyterian Church on South Peoria, and about 350 people showed up, packed the room, because they wanted to know what they could do not only to help, but also to protect themselves and to find out who they could call in case they saw something and to get information. The citizens of Tulsa should be extremely proud of the ladies and gentlemen behind us. But they should also pat themselves in the back collectively, not only for the media, but as well as for their involvement and their interest in solving crime and putting us back into the great city we are, where we can have a collective sigh of relief and at ease. So once again, Chief, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations to your leadership, your management team, the terrific Tulsa Police Department that we have, fire department for getting involved as well, and for all of those that helped. Our lab department, hooray. Boy, are we fortunate in that regard. So once again, thank you, Chief. Congratulations.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Hey, Chief, could you just clarify a few things for us? So is he a resident of Tulsa?
He had a Tulsa address on his driver's license, but he was not living there presently.
Can you tell us the area he was living in?
That'll be kind of part of our investigation, so I'm not at liberty to really discuss that.
Okay, and if you could clarify how you guys matched the DNA again?
I didn't say we matched DNA.
Okay, or how you made the conclusion?
I'm not at liberty to say that.
Chief, can you walk us through exactly what happened the morning, Sunday morning?
The car wreck?
Yes.
He ran off the road, single car accident. OHP assumed he had fallen asleep at the wheel.
You said 7 attacks here?
That's correct.
Can you tell us, because we've been reporting, the 8 we thought were connected, can you tell us which one was not?
We're still looking at the incident on 71st Street and investigating it further. We think it may not be part of our series.
Do you think there could end up being more that will be related at the end?
That wasn't the same kind of sexual assault. We don't know. Obviously, we're going to explore that possibility. We're interviewing several people regarding that. It could always happen. I don't think there's going to be any more. We got pretty quick responses and call-ins on all of these, so the way the crimes were committed and stuff, they got real quick responses from the victims.
And do you believe that this is pretty much over, that this was a one-man thing? Do you believe Campbell was responsible? Do you think there's anybody else out there who's acting on it?
That'll be up to courts to decide who's responsible, but we're presenting charges on him, so yes, we're obviously pretty confident that he needs to be tried for it.
So you said know that you needed outside agencies, and what did those agencies do? Talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit more about what the outside agencies did, OSBI. You mentioned pilot.
OSBI examined evidence for us. The Marshal Service assisted us in the Northern Oklahoma Violent Crimes Task Force.
And I understand that there was a detective or something from Washington State that assisted you guys too?
I wasn't made aware of it if that's the case.
Can you talk about whether any DNA evidence was collected prior to Campbell entering the hospital?
Prior to, that's commonly collected at crime scenes, but
Specific to Campbell?
I'm not at liberty to say that.
Chief, was there anything that raised red flags about the fact that, it was an accident that morning that made investigators think there could be some connection here? Was there anything specific about?
There was nothing. OHP thought they had an accident. That was it. It was worked as an accident. When we got information back from OSBI and we got his name, that's when we tracked down that he was in that wreck.
Was there any sort of toxicology testing done on him to see whether alcohol or drugs played a role in the crash?
I couldn't tell you that. That's OHP's purview, and I just don't know.
But you guys believe that he may have been, he just left
No, I said that's what OHP put in their report. I don't have any idea why I ran into the light pole.
but I mean, you think that it was close enough to the previous location where the last victim was, that maybe that he was just left there?
That would be a remark. Yes, that's the time span. It would certainly fit that. Yes.
Can you describe what this means to you all after all these weeks of you've been reporting about the public sphere and your hard work at this point, surrounded by the officers? What is the feeling right now here at the police department?
Oh, obviously, we're very happy. We can tell our public that we think the person that committed these acts is not a threat to them anymore. This. Pardon?
The victims, what have they been saying in regards to this man showing them a picture? And what's the reaction you guys?
That'd be part of the investigation. I'm not going to reveal that this time. I just hope everybody remembers it was really significant that for all these people in here and our some 50-some people involved in the task force, there were well over a couple hundred other officers that volunteered to do it and wanted to do it. They were passionate about this. They care about their community. It's a pretty big deal, and they responded accordingly. So I'm extremely proud of my police department.
Chief, talking about the task force, let's give them a little bit of credit. Can you tell us a little bit, maybe just
Well, as I said, they're trying to determine where somebody is going to be on a given night in 196 square miles. So they spend a lot of time on static surveillance, looking for people to pass by, to come into neighborhoods. Some of the most boring police work you can possibly do. It's mind-numbing. And they stayed alert, they stayed the course, and did what they were supposed to do, and I'm proud of them.
You might know that Chief Jordan has been in charge of numerous task forces over his very long, stellar career. And that experience came into play big time in helping put this group together, but also keeping them together, keeping them motivated, and assembling that mind-numbing information and providing it in such a way, as well as interacting with the media. You all deserve a tremendous amount of thanks and gratitude as well. But Chief Jordan did a terrific job in helping us get to this point.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say, too, it's kind of lets the air out of your sails if you were a tipster and called in, and we didn't get a tip on this guy. I think I told you, though, back in the news conference a few days ago, these are not social animals. They don't talk about their crimes. A lot of times we get information from informants because they're talking about what they're doing. I will tell you that these tips have led us to several other people who are committing crimes, though, so they're not wasted in any way, shape, or form. We're still running down some leads on people that may not have committed these crimes, but may be responsible for other crimes. So we thank everybody again for all their tips.
Chief, one more question I have for you. You said some things that really lined up with the ending of this case today. You said that a lot of people coming out of prison, you were looking into those kind of things. What gave you that hunch about this guy with you not even having a clue that it would end up this way?
I didn't mention I'm a clairvoyant. I'm sorry.
What?
No.
The other day you were.
I know what you
Okay,
said.
sorry.
No.
You had a very good, looking back at your press conference, your news conference the other day, you had a very good hunch, about what it may end up like.
That wasn't anything magical. I think most any police officer you'd ask that question of would come up with the same answer. When we have a series like this come out of the blue, the person wasn't here before the first one. He wasn't in our town. So, he had to either be in prison, which is a very good likelihood, and in this case he was, or he's from out of town. People don't just start as adult males committing these kind of crimes. There's always precursor crimes that we would have seen happening in our area.
Chief, you mentioned he was unresponsive. At any point since Sunday, has he been awakened? Is he aware of the news that you just read? Does he know?
No, he hasn't. He has not been responsive.
At all?
Not at all.
Chief, in your earlier press conference, you mentioned that this is a guy who may have been out of town. He new to the area or starting something, this doesn't just happen planned. To think that he was just recently, had a prison history back in April, does that kind of coincide with what you believe?
Actually, both of those things coincide because he's from Oklahoma City, and he went into prison in 2007, and he just got out in this April. Our such crimes investigators are coordinating with Oklahoma City to see if they had any series like this prior to him going to prison.
We've been running this sketch on the air a lot. Is there any similarities?
A little bit in the nose. That's my perception. Again, other people might look at it and say no, or see other things. Again, like I said, this is a little sketch from one victim, and perceptions under duress and those kinds of circumstances don't always give us the most accurate perceptions of what somebody looks like.
And looking at his criminal past, you mentioned the kidnapping or attempted kidnapping and attempted robbery, but I was not seeing any sexual charges before.
No, we did not.
Does that surprise you that he goes from, he was a violent offender, but to go.
Well, what would not surprise me is that he could have done similar offenses in Oklahoma City, or somebody could have, and not got caught.
Do you know what brought him to the Tulsa area at all?
I don't know.
You said that you had an address for him, that he wasn't necessarily living there, but is there any correlation between that and the location of all these attacks?
I can't get into that. That'll come out at some point in time, I think.
Has the arrest warrant been issued?
No, they're the Assistant District Attorney Kunzweiler and District Attorney Tim Harris are now preparing the charges. They're looking at it and preparing them.
Do you expect that to be done before the end of the day?
They can't speak. I don't. Yeah, they don't. I think they're trying to. I don't know. You have to remember we have a variety of different charges for different victims. Some were not rapes. Some were sexual batteries. Some were first-degree burglaries. Some were, so there's a whole myriad of charges. Some that will be attached to some victims and not others.
Are you able to break down how many of these women were actually raped and how many, you gave different categories there, sexual battery, sexual assault?
I'm not at liberty to go into what the victims.
Chief, you said he's unresponsive right now. Can you give us any more detail about what his injuries are, what his status is right now?
He wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and my understanding was he had severe head trauma.
Do we expect him to become responsive at some point?
I have no medical background whatsoever. I don't think the odds are real good of that, but it could happen.
Is there somebody from the department that's there at the hospital?
That's correct.
Chief, can you just reiterate how significant this is for the victims? Can they sleep more peacefully tonight?
Yeah, I think it's common for all rape victims. They always are concerned about somebody coming back. In reality, it rarely happens. But I hope this does give them some peace, and all of the women in Tulsa, it gives them some peace. This is. I think it's very fortuitous that we were able to come to this conclusion right before this 4th of July weekend, and it didn't ruin everybody's Independence Day.
You don't expect any other arrests right now with this case?
No, I do not. Thank you all very much. Again, you've been a great asset for us to get the message out, what we wanted to get out, and you've been very timely in your posting this stuff, and we thank you very much.